Does this medicine deny this mother's identity as a grieving mother?
You should mourn the death of your son. After 5 years, your instincts tell you to mourn him too. But medicine assures us that mourning is inappropriate, that Martin is merely pending. So all her grief goes undigested. Henry, your son may be beyond our science, but it's your wife who can still be reached.
What do you mean unethical? Helping her out.
Where's the situation? So their son is in a coma, and like not like a coma where you hear the heartbeat and like they're on the bed. A coma that's like they froze his body, like just like so completely, like he's in a cryo chamber. And so the situation is she like reads books to her son every day, even though he's definitely not hearing it. He's like frozen. And so the science, the medicine says that she needs to grieve. And so what they're going to do is bring in a robot child to replace the frozen child. And so to like push her through the grieving cycle. Wait, but if she wants to sit there in that state of suffering from the outside, but to her, like that's how she views herself. She's like, this is, I'm still a mother to this frozen child. Then who are we to mess with that?
So you're saying everybody grieves in different ways, and all
True.
ways of grieving are equal. And therefore, she's doing it right just as much as somebody else who is learning how to move on. And so who is medicine to tell her how to grieve? Is that right?
I am saying that. I'm not sure what I'm saying. I think that's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying if there's a grieving cycle, like people grieve in their own ways, but I think there's a general trend. There's like 5 steps or however many steps there are, right? But you generally want to see someone move on with their life at some point. I think death affects us all differently, and especially a death of a child. I've never experienced this, but I can imagine that it would be like devastating to the core. Something that you never truly forget. Absolutely, don't forget it. But there should be some level of return to life, some level of you don't have to like back to work on Monday. Like no, I'm not, that's not what I'm saying. But if you see someone sitting in depression for a decade, and you see that they're suffering, or I think you want to help them out of it.
Okay, so I think I understand. There's a normal grieving process that's normal for normal people in a normal society.
Yep.
And when somebody deviates from that, they're mentally ill, and they need to be helped immediately because
That's what I'm saying.
they need to be normal. Like, get normal, get right. If you're not normal, here's some medicine. Pump you full of this medicine to get you normal. If you're not normal, to get you conforming.
Okay, because you really rode that line on the word normal, but kind of yes, right? So if a society says that these are the attributes of someone who is healthy and functioning, then these are the things we want to have. Like if you have someone that's like deep in depression and considering killing themselves like all day, every day, do you say like, oh, that's just who you are. That's how you identify. That's okay. We should accept that. And everyone should be gentle around you. Or do you say like, I'm kind of a mandated reporter. I have to tell someone about this.
So how do we tell if somebody is unhealthy mentally? Well, I don't think we have like the brain scanner unhealthy.
Okay.
We look for deviations from normal.
Okay.
And if somebody's deviating too far from normal, we're like mentally unhealthy, and then we hop them up.
Right. So I want to be careful when you say normal. We're saying what that society considers to be healthy.
Exactly.
Right. So if I had a society where all the women were just anorexic, we're talking about like 85 pounds or under, and we said that was normal, we'd be like, okay, well, I guess that's normal. That's what you should be doing. But we don't live in that society. We live in a society that's like, no, you should have some amount of fat, some amount of muscle on you. Just don't be like sickly to the point where like, I'm not sure, like your bodily functions are shutting down. I can't just say like, you're an anorexic person. That's how you identify. I'm going to support that.
So what you're saying is if society is sick and the definition of normal has been so skewed into unhealthy, that somebody who is acting healthy might look abnormal. How can we tell that the mother here isn't acting normally in a sick society?
So the question is, you're right. So if you have a society that's like everyone should stay inside all day long, just sit on the computer and do your Excel sheets, And then this one person's like, I really feel good when I go outside and go hiking. People are like, what are
Weirdo.
you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
what are you
why are you
doing?
spending your time outside where it's dangerous? You can get ticks. You get ticks that tick that like makes you hate beef. Like, I'm not risking that. But is that this society? Is this society in this movie where it's like, if you have a frozen child, you should stay there forever? You should never you can never move on with your life. Not like move on, forget it, but never get back to functional.
So the only way I know how to answer that is by saying what I think is normal behavior. But I don't know what healthy behavior is because I'm only comparing it to society we have, and we know we got some problems.
And we got some problems.
I got some problems. So, and when you grieve, you never get back to where you were.
Okay.
You just get back to a new normal. And if somebody were to roll in and be like, that new normal is unhealthy, you need to be medicated. It's like, I'm doing my own thing. What are you doing?
Okay, what if my new normal is I don't leave the house ever and I just lay in bed all day and cry?
I mean, as long as
That's
you
my-
don't get
that's
up my
my
face
new
about
normal.
it.
What if my new normal is getting in your face about it and like pushing you and being like, get away from me. My new normal is this and you need to accept that. And you're like, I am accepting that. I'm like, no, you're not accepting it enough. Like,
Well,
that's
if
my
you
new
can
normal.
if you can take your pushy ideology and make everyone in society agree with it, then I'm the weirdo and I have to accept. Otherwise,
what
they'll
if
medicate
you-
me.
Right. But what if you don't think that that leads to human happiness and fulfillment?
Then I am now a rebel trying to change the dogma of society to something else. And so now we're battling. We're trying to define what normal is so that I can define you as unhealthy. So we're battling.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. So in summary here, I think it is, if I agree with society, then medicating is correct. If I disagree with society, then society is sick and medicating is immoral. That's what I'm hearing.
I think that's it.
Oh.
I think that's it.
Did we come to a conclusion on that one? I don't know. I don't know if there is a conclusion. I don't know if we have the scientific understanding.
I think we just got to a really deep conclusion
Yeah.
that I got uncomfortable with.
I actually think that's it. Is we don't have a good understanding of brains and cultures and humans enough. Like we're still in the infancy of these kind of sciences where we don't even have an understanding. So we're kind of grasping at straws a little bit to define medicine and unethical and all these things. Maybe.
Or we have a very good understanding that has been there for a long time and there's a feel for it, but then also we're at odds with people who are fighting for power. Like, gosh, that was so fucking vague.
Okay.
So like,
But a
it's like
feel-
it's healthy for people to go outside and look at the horizon and look at the sun and look at the stars. Like there's something human primal that connects you to nature and that feels good, but that fights against the corporate machinery that's like, go do your Excel sheets. And so they're telling us that we're sick for like wanting to go outside.
But without
We
the
don't- we don't have
understanding,
science.
if we're running only on feel, we know human feel can
fallible.
misfire. Right?
Yeah,
we've seen that. We've
absolutely.
seen that in all kinds of sciences where the human intuition about things is just plain wrong. And if we run on feel, we might get it right most of the time. But without a true scientific understanding, this is my argument, without a true scientific understanding to back up those feelings, we could potentially misfire and we wouldn't know.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. I agree with that. I counter, though, that sometimes we have scientific findings that are later overturned. Which is the point. Wait. This is what we want in science. You make an idea, you get your data, you support it. If somebody else has a counter idea, they get their data. And if they're more right, then yours gets turned down. You got to take it on the chin, eat it. It's like, that's the right thing.
So it is true that some scientific dogmas are overturned, but maybe they shouldn't have been so forcefully accepted as truth from the beginning. And science done by humans is a messy affair. And we
for
slowly
example, the
move
ether.
towards something that is closer to reality than not.
I think that's a
But-
good mission.
But saying like a mistake in science is evidence that science should be thrown out.
Ooh, not good.
And I don't know if that's good. Okay. In conclusion, don't be weird.